Hello, my crypto people, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, we have a very nice update on Hbar, Algorand, and a couple of other things like Algorand. So, a little bit earlier over on Twitter, I put up that we have a very exciting update on Hbar, and that's because you don't really see that many articles written about him. Even though Hbar is actually a very exciting crypto, in terms of marketing, just purely from the press releases, they're not doing too crazy. And so whenever I see an article specifically that talks about a $100 million something, I get hyped up. Hbar Foundation launches a $100 million climate-focused impact fund, declaring Dofu as an inaugural grantee. According to the announcement, the fund is designed to strengthen accountability and transparency in ecological markets with an inherent adherence of contributing towards the 2030 UN Sustainable Development Goals. So the Hbar Foundation, a philanthropic and independent subsidiary of distributed ledger firm Hedera Hashgraph, has announced the launch of the Environmentally Conscious Sustainable Impact Fund, SIF, conceived to foster the development of climate-conscious solutions within the Hedera ecosystem. And so this is actually a very big ordeal. We're just kind of seeing the small part of it just quite yet, but again, the whole ordeal is actually pretty significant, as we can read a little bit further throughout this story. Can I not zoom in properly? Okay, Cointelegraph is like a really annoying website where I'll just read it like this, who cares? The first recipient, a Welsh blockchain company called Dofu, will be granted $100 million to pursue their open source Guardian technology to develop publicly transparent mechanisms such as their audit trail to verify carbon offsetting data. And so if you're wondering where this money is coming from or what exactly was decided, a little while ago, back in September of last year, there came a Hbar Foundation. It was actually after a successful vote of the Hedera Governing Council. And what they basically did was kind of decide where the 5.35 billion Hbar was going to go that right now is in the token treasury under the hands of the Hbar Foundation. And what they basically have done is kind of like an XRP type of move where or any crypto for that matter, but people usually, whenever they think of treasury or a lot of tokens to help on the ecosystem, people think of XRP. It's basically there for investment in a disparate number of projects and developers striving to enhance the growth of the Hedera ecosystem. So them doing this is a very big step. According to data metrics shown on their website, the foundation has actually already allocated $32 million in funding grants to date across 19 projects in 4 industry sectors, where each building upon some aspect of Hedera's consensus algorithm. And these sectors include payments and fintech, crypto economy, yada yada yada, and metaverse, and we talked about this stuff before. And for all of you that didn't get it, Dofu, again, is powered by Hedera. Alright, to move on to Algorand. They've actually just acquired a payments firm TwistPay, and they've won a e-money license. Algorand said the approval to issue regulated e-money across Europe was granted by the National Bank of Romania. And if you're wondering, yes, it's officially been confirmed, as CoinDesk basically went to kind of go behind their backs and approve these things, or confirm these things, which is a good thing, If you're a news outlet as big as CoinDesk, it is always best to have a backup of your backup of your backup in terms of how trusted things are. And apparently a representative of the National Bank of Romania confirmed via email that Algorand had indeed received the approval for acquiring a license for e-money. And this is actually a very big deal. Even though this will not actually encompass the entire world just quite yet, it says here under European Union passport rules, the license will allow Algorand to operate e-money across EU, Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway. And even though I've lived in Europe for the majority of my life, I actually didn't know that Norway was not part of the EU. So if you're kind of wondering what they did it for, I can think of a dozen reasons, but from their own words, we've been having focused conversations with the Romanian Central Bank about acquiring an e-money licensed institution that enables us to create stable coins, for instance, in a legal and compliant way. So again, the way we're viewing it is they get a lot of opportunities right now to create electronic money or to help the facilitation of transferring that specific money. It's just a very big step, and I don't think that this was easy to get. If you're wondering about why the fork is there, you know why it was? Somebody asked me to, kind of prove it was me. Hold a fork. No, just kidding. It was actually, if you're doing research or you're behind the computer for a long time, You start fidgeting with everything around you. I don't know if you guys have that too. And all of a sudden, this fork ended up in my hand and it's staying there. Raoul Pal on Bitcoin ignore the fork made me lose some focus. Raoul Pal on Bitcoin. Ignore short-term noise, focus on exponential long-term trend. I think this is actually rather interesting as well. Because take a look at this. This is Raoul Pal. He wrote, Bitcoin is correlated with risk in the short term. Of course it does. It's an asset and they all do. It is subject to short-term liquidity and behavior, but its long-term trend is exponential, unlike most other risk assets. I don't know why people struggle with this noise. Then again, he is even more bullish, I believe, on Ethereum, which at some point he thinks will work out better. There's some validity to any claim like this. I can definitely give you guys a couple of reasons as to why Hbar would be the best, or why Bitcoin would be the best, or why XRP would be the best, or why Algorand would be the best. And talking about that, let's talk about Algorand, because any crypto out there, you can think of reasons as to why it's better than others. In my own opinion, it's not a game of which crypto is better than the other because, as I said, you can never win that argument fully. There's always a counter argument to that. Now, what is important is covering Algorand right now because apparently they've added over 6 million new accounts in 2022, and that is absolutely huge. That is crazy. I mean, Algorand is one of those silent killers. You are not noticing is there, but they're just killing it in the background. Since the beginning of 2022, Algorand blockchain has added more than 6 million new accounts onto its network. The total number of accounts on Algorand at the time, at the turn of the year was 17.4 million. Well, at press time, this number is staggeringly 23.5 million. That is a 35% increase since the year's beginning. One of the reasons for such massive growth in interest for Algo could be the major technical upgrade to the network that will allow Algorand-based products to operate on other blockchains and in low-power environments such as mobile phones and smartwatches. Algorand is also expecting the introduction of London Bridge, a trustless bridge to connect the platform with Ethereum. And to make this happen, software development company Applied Blockchain received a grant from the Algorand Foundation in February of 2022. And remember guys, these grants are actually very important for the development of ecosystems because usually what you get is developers are not so incentivized to work on your platform unless they're getting some sort of compensation for it, or if yours is literally better than another one. But as I described earlier, I can think of reasons as to why one is better than the other. And one of the reasons, for example, why people are not building on VeChain is because they're late. The infrastructure is a lot worse than for other layer ones. And so it's like, well, if they were to pay me a lot to do it, yeah, then maybe I'll start building on there. Also note that Algo is not one of your normal personal kid in a basement type of crypto that was created just for fun. Because remember, Algorand Foundation recently got a new CEO. If you don't know who that is, check it out right here. It is none other than the former JP Morgan executive Stacey Warden. She brought in tremendous experience from her engagements at NASDAQ, United States Treasury Department, and Milken Institute. Of course, pretty recently here, Grayscale also added Algorand, which was huge. And Anthony Scaramucci, the founder of alternative investment firm Skybridge Capital and the former White House communications director, praised Algorand, predicting its future as the Google of crypto. And honestly, guys, with the way that Algorand is building themselves, there's a lot of potential there. There really is potential there, and you don't hear me saying that often. Take a look at this, for example, just the related articles as well. They're just huge, and Algorand really is a top competitor. Now, a little while ago, I talked in my video about whales and why somebody might want to buy the bottom or might want to sell the bottom, any of that stuff. But there's just a little fun article that apparently buying the dip, third largest Bitcoin whale adds to position with a $29 million Bitcoin purchase. We're not exactly sure who it is. The whale remains anonymous. It could be some secret exchange out there. We don't really know. However, the whale's activity does not fit in with that of a crypto exchange that, again, we do not yet know. It could also be some major institution that we just don't know about. It could, for example, be like some secret PayPal wallet or some Elon Musk wallet. Who knows exactly what it could be. But it's one of the biggest whales in crypto, and it's actually kind of funny how secret in that sense crypto still can be. I mean, once they know it's you, they will know forever, but if they don't know, you cannot really know unless you mess up yourself, right? Even if you keep getting transactions from a certain person, If that person doesn't know your identity and you're not necessarily linked by real news, well, it's still funny that it's so easy to stay anonymous. And actually, just checking my phone, I see this news. Stripe has just announced support for Bitcoin and crypto payments. Not exactly sure how breaking this news is. It says breaking news, but in the crypto space, you never know. Yeah, seems to still be pretty breaking. About an hour ago, the majority of this was announced. Stripe launches payment support for crypto businesses and partners with FTX. And here it says Stripe goes all in on crypto with comprehensive support. Apparently, Stripe, which is dual headquartered in Dublin and SF, San Francisco, said it will now offer fiat payments API integration for businesses to process crypto to fiat currency payments. Nice. Nice. This is good. Good. Now, we have been stating for a very long time that crypto's on the rise, but ever since this executive order came up, I honestly think there's absolutely no way that we're going to see any negative day for crypto in terms of advancements. Always the worst thing we could think of is the US all of a sudden trying to ban crypto, but that can't happen. So I personally think the only way is up in terms of adoption and in terms of scaling the ecosystem. There will always be down days in terms of price, but the ecosystem, it'll keep scaling. And guys, I am so freaking excited about the future of crypto. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely see you guys again in another one. I'm gonna finish my cake.